Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be building a Telegram AI bot with OpenClaw. So what we're going to do today is install OpenClaw, connect it to Telegram and run our own 24/7 AI assistant. This is going to be a fun. So we're going to set up an AI assistant that's always on. We can message it from our phone and watch it actually get things done for you. Super cool. We'll set up OpenClaw, which is a free open source AI agent as your personal assistant. You'll connect it to Telegram for mobile access, lock it down so it's only you can use it, and keep the OpenClaw gateway running in the background. So basically what we're going to do is install and run OpenClaw on your machine. We're going to connect it to the Anthropic API, link it to a Telegram bot and lock it down so only you can use it, so it's safe and secure. And then there's a quick little image here of sort of the overview of the architecture of this. So you're going to be accessing it through your browser on your laptop or desktop and your phone. You're going to chat with it. It's going to go through the Telegram bot. It's going to send it to the OpenClaw gateway. It's going to request a response from the AI, in this case Anthropic's Claude, and then that's going to respond, come back through the OpenClaw gateway, get a result to the Telegram bot, and the Telegram bot's going to send that response to us either on our phone or our laptops. Cool. So the gateway is the hub. You send messages from Telegram or the browser, the gateway forwards them to Claude and routes the response back to you. By the end of this project, you'll have a locally running OpenClaw assistant that's always a Telegram bot connected to your assistant for chatting with any device, allowlists security so that only you can talk to your assistant, very important. And a little secret mission, we're going to set up an automated check that runs every 10 minutes to show you how OpenClaw proactive automation work. And there's many different things you can do to automate. Very cool. Great. So, all right. Do I need to pay for this project? Well, OpenClaw is completely free and open source. However, we're going to use Claude in this project, which requires a Claude Pro or Max subscription, but feel free to use whatever AI provider you are currently using or have on hand. It's just the instructions in the projects may differ slightly because we have used Claude specifically for this project. Great. All right, let's start the project and get into it. Cool. For a bit of a challenge, quiz yourself on key concepts ahead of the project. All right, let's give it a go. I'm pretty privy to OpenClaw since I wrote this project myself, but let's give it a... Oh, I've already done the quiz. Yeah, that's right. Yes, I did this yesterday. This is just running through a re-recorded session. Great. So what are we going to do in this project? We're going to install OpenClaw on our local machine and message it on Telegram and hopefully set up automated jobs at the end. And this will help me how to safely and securely set it up on my machine and be able to message my OpenClaw from another device, in this case my mobile phone, just using a handy little voice to text tool called Whisperflow if you're interested. Great, let's view my work and see if that's appended that into the hasn't. All right, into step one now. So what we're going to do is build a personal assistant, and the first thing to do is install OpenClaw on our machine and get the OpenClaw gateway running locally. So the gateway is what keeps the assistant live in the background, ready to respond whenever you message it. So in this step, get ready to install or verify Node.js version 22. We'll install OpenClaw on our machine, and we'll answer the installer prompt and verify the gateway is running. So we have it ready to go. OpenClaw is, what is OpenClaw? It is very much an open source project and it runs locally on our machine. Understanding of OpenClaw. Yeah, it's an open source framework for building autonomous AI agents. Great. Open source framework for building autonomous agents that I can run locally on my machine and I can control with my mobile phone, which is what we're going to do today. Super cool. Delete the super cool. Okay, done. All right, so what is OpenClaw? OpenClaw is an open source AI assistant platform, one of the hottest Git repos on GitHub at the moment, with thousands of contributors making it secure every day. So basically there's a whole bunch of people around the world who are contributing to this code base to make it more secure and make it more user-friendly. Is it safe to run on my computer? Yes. OpenClaw runs entirely on your local machine, so your conversations and data never leave your computer unless you choose to connect to an external AI provider. And the open source community actively audits the code base, and you can inspect every line yourself if you do have the technical chops. Or you can get your AI to check it out for you. Cool. All right, so first step, we're going to install or verify Node.js. OpenClaw does require Node.js version 22 or higher, so we'll check to see if we have it already. So I'm going to open up Spotlight Search here on my Mac. Might be a different command if you are on Windows, but you can just find your terminal app that runs on your machine, and we will get that up and running. So the terminal, and we are going to check to see which version of Node we are running. So we're going to copy this command here. We're going to paste this into our terminal, and it's going to tell us. So we're on version 25.8.1. So lucky for us, we're on version 22 or higher. We're good to go. If you aren't, you're lower than version 22 or are not installed, then jump on over to nodejs.org. You can download the latest version, run the installer and follow the prompts, and then we'll close and reopen the terminal, and then you can verify that Node version in the terminal just as I have then. Great. In our instance though, we are ready to go, and we're ready to hit the big shot, the big time. Installing OpenClaw. Now let's install it and get those claws. Hey. Alright, so we're going to run this following command in the terminal, copy this over and check it out here. So we're going to run this here, and there we go, off to the races. OpenClaw installer is running. Cool. So it's checking. Yep, looks like we are installing. So I'm just having a look here to see if I'm getting a similar screenshot. Yep, looks like we are very similar things happening in the terminal. In the meantime, while this loads, what does this curl sort of bash script do? This command downloads and runs a script in one step. So the curl part of it downloads the install script from OpenClaw AI, so we don't have to go to their website. This fssl tells curl to fail silently on errors, follow the redirects and show no progress bar. So it's just letting it run autonomously, and then the /bash pipes the downloaded script directly in your shell to execute it, so creating environment locally on your machine for us to run it. Great. Alright, so the onboarding wizard. Okay, looks like we are just going to zoom that in here to see if we've got something similar. Yep, looks like we are into the OpenClaw onboarding now. So looks like this is some sort of security warning. Okay, great. We'll just have a quick skim through this. Yes, this is a big security message. So this is normal. OpenClaw does show this to every user. It's reminding you OpenClaw is a personal agent designed for one trusted user, you, and that if you ever enable tools or share it, just think carefully about access control. But for now, we're just setting it up for ourselves. We're in good shape. Another disclaimer, OpenClaw is a hobby project, still in beta. Expect sharp edges. It's getting finessed and refined by contributors all around the world. And yeah, if you're not comfortable with security hardening, so like it's getting iterated on security at the moment, then don't run OpenClaw. My personal experience is just to slowly give it permissions over time once you gain trust and use it for small tasks, and then you can begin to allow more and more things into your setup as you go. Great. So what the onboarding wizard will ask us, it will ask us to make several choices. It's quite lengthy and comprehensive, but we'll go through it step by step and make this as easy as possible for you. So now we're up to, when asked, I understand this is personal by default and shared multi-user use requires lockdown continue. So this is regards to setting up. Okay, what does this confirmation mean? Which is fine for a local machine where only you have access, so only a single person. And then this is obviously about multi-user environments like a team server. So we're not going to be doing that, but it just shows you that that is a capability that you can do later on in the piece when you get more advanced into this tool. So for us, we're just going to select left, press left and press enter to select yes. Great. When asked, select an onboarding mode and select quick start. Great. I think quick is, yeah, let's get into it. So we'll configure details later via OpenClaw configure. Sounds good. We just want to get straight into it. All right. Now it is asking us for a model provider. So when you select your AI provider, select Anthropic. That's what we're using in this case. As mentioned before, if you already have another AI provider, you can go through that method, but for the next work project here, we are using Anthropic. So the screenshots may differ based on setting up the token here. So we're going to go back and select Anthropic. We are then going to look at selecting an Anthropic authentication method. In this case, we're going to select the Anthropic token, paste setup token. Okay, we select that. Going to select that now, and then so it's given us a prompt to generate a setup token. Okay, so it's asking us to run Claude setup token in a it looks like it must be for a new terminal window. Okay, so just going to check the instructions here. We'll run the command using Claude Code, Anthropic's command line tool, in the new terminal window, and then we'll paste the token back there. So with Anthropic, we will need Claude Code installed. I already have it installed, but if you do need to install it and you're just getting a Claude subscription, either a Pro or Max, so in our instance, we're just going to copy this command, Claude setup token. We're going to open a new terminal and we're going to paste in Claude setup token and run it. Whoa, and now it's opened up our browser. Okay, allow, yep, we'll give it access, and we will authorize, select authorize in the browser window that's open. Yep, that's what just happened to us. So we'll come over and we'll authorize that and build something great. You'll see a confirmation page once authorization is complete. Build something great. That looks perfect. All right, so we can close this window now, and we can go back to our terminal and copy the token from the terminal. So I'm assuming, yep, we've got exactly this here. So I'm going to copy this yellow text here. Then what's it saying? To go back to the onboarding wizard terminal, this one here, and paste setup token now. Okay, so if I select that and paste the key, okay, paste your token, yes, pasted the token, and then enter your token name, something like NextWorkClaw your name. So if I select that and copy it, I can paste this into here, and we'll just go NextWorkClaw John and enter. Great, select enter, yep. Okay, so now we're going to, just make sure, just a disclaimer, keep these credentials secure. The token is stored locally. Never commit this directory to version control or share its contents publicly, which means don't share your token, because if other people start using it, they'll be spending your money. Cool. All right, when asked to select your default AI models, select Claude Sonnet 4.5. Cool, so Sonnet 4.5 is in this list. And why should we select Sonnet? So Sonnet's a faster and cheaper than Opus version, but it's still very capable. So it's the best default for a personal assistant. Opus 4.6 is the most powerful model, but it is obviously more expensive. So we're just setting up a basic setup today. So let's go with Claude Sonnet 4.5 as per the screenshot here. And we'll hit enter on that. Great. And then go down to the bottom using our down arrow key, and we'll skip that for now. So same as before, we'll jump down here and hit skip for now. Great. When asked configure skills, select no. All right, we'll jump into that. It's obviously we're just going to come and you can come back and configure these later on. But as mentioned at the start, this onboarding wizard is very comprehensive because of the capabilities OpenClaw is able to do. So yeah, it's very cool and exciting, but for now we're just going to keep it simple so we can get you up and running. Configure skills, no. When asked enable hooks, select skip for now. So we're going to have to use space to select and then press enter. So a green square should appear like that, and when you press space, then press enter. Great! And okay, cool. And then we should probably allow this, because this will mean that it has access to local machine. How would you like to hatch your bot? Select do this later. Yeah, that hasn't come up for us. Here we go. Yeah, it is. So the wizard may, sometimes it shows additional prompts, sometimes it doesn't. I've done this onboarding wizard quite a few times now, and every time there seems to be something slightly different. So if you do see anything that's not here, just skip them for now, because you can configure those later once it's been installed. So what's the gateway install doing? After the wizard screens, OpenClaw will install the gateway as a background service on our machine, and this is what keeps the assistant running 24/7. So it takes about a minute or two to complete. It looks like we have completed already, which is fantastic. And this is okay. So this security access did pop up before, is what we selected as allow. So the gateway essentially needs permission to run and communicate with the Anthropic API, and then also be able to have access to your local machine. So that's all good. At least we're being notified of it setting things up for us, which is great. Cool. It looks like, yeah, we're getting a pretty similar feel. Onboarding complete. Use the dashboard linked above to control OpenClaw. Amazing. So it looks like everything is working so far. If that is not the case for you, it's exited or crashed midway. Well, let's rerun the onboarding wizard. We can copy this command and paste it into the terminal, and it will detect where you're up to in the onboarding wizard steps, and you can just go through that, and maybe you'll need to re-authenticate potentially. So here's some troubleshooting steps if you haven't made it this. For all of those who are at onboarding complete, congratulations. Let's go. Cool. All right, so now we're going to jump back into our terminal, and we're just going to run gateway status to see what is happening. We should get something similar to the terminal showing OpenClaw gateway status is healthy, active and healthy. Looks like it's saying loaded and runtime running. So green equals good, red equals lobster bad. So loaded is in our terminal, running is in our terminal. So it looks like we're good, we're cooking. The gateway is running and ready to go. And it acts as the always on sort of engine behind the scenes so basically we're sending questions to the AI for them to get a response from. And that's what makes the assistant feel always on or alive. So every conversation you have passes through it, which is really, really cool and unique. If the gateway isn't running, here's a couple of terminal commands you can run to recheck if the gateway has been installed, and then we can see if the gateway is starting. So check that out if that is your current situation. And then there's also the OpenClaw doctor command is very, very helpful for diagnosing potential issues in the setup, which happens. It is fixable, and the OpenClaw doctor is very, very good at finding what the problems are and sorting that. In our case, the gateway is active. All right, so now we're going to screenshot gateway status is active and healthy. So we're going to take a screenshot of that there. Then we're going to pop this onto desktop. And I installed OpenClaw by running the onboarding wizard. The gateway is a background service running on my machine so I can interact with OpenClaw, which I verified by running OpenClaw gateway status to check that it's alive and healthy. Great. All right, great. And now we're back and have installed the OpenClaw by running the onboarding wizard, and the gateway is a background service running on my machine so I can interact with OpenClaw, and which I verified by open gateway status to check that it's alive and healthy. Boom. So with the gateway running, our assistant is alive and waiting. Next, we're going to have our first conversation with it. Fantastic. Let's check to see if our work is being captured here. Amazing. Look, it's all here in our live documentation. Fantastic, really like that. Close my work and get back into focus land. All right, cool. Step 2, we're going to meet our AI assistant. We've installed OpenClaw, the gateway is running in the background. The next thing to do is actually talk to our assistant and see what it can do. So OpenClaw comes with a built-in control UI that can open right in our browser. But how do I actually send it a message, and what happens behind the scenes when you do? We will find out. Very, very cool. Great. All right, let's get into it. So in this step, we're going to open the control UI in our browser, have our first conversation with the assistant. We're going to check out the usage and costs with the status. OpenClaw gateway. Right, we're going to add that to our work. We'll see that that's been added. Perfect. It's been added into our documentation. Beautiful. And I'm going to use this handy little keyboard short command and right to close the drawer. Alright, so now we're going to open the control UI. So the control UI is a web-based chat interface that connects directly to our local gateway. Think of it as a private ChatGPT that runs entirely on our machines. So what we're going to do is run the following command, OpenClaw dashboard. So we'll go back to our terminal here. We're going to run OpenClaw dashboard, and from memory this might open, yes, wow, okay, it's opened up the interface for us. Amazing. Okay, did the control UI open in your browser? Yes, that looks very similar to what they've obviously updated the UI a little bit. Cool. So the control UI has loaded for us. Great, we can see OpenClaw and we're ready to go. If it didn't load for you, we can probably run these commands here and check to see that a device is on the list and it has been approved, and then we can run the OpenClaw gateway status once again, or if we have any authentication issues we can run OpenClaw onboard, and then we can restart the gateway to the interface to begin talking on the control UI with OpenClaw. So what we're going to do is have our first conversation. We're going to type a message into the chatbot and say, hey, can you introduce yourself and tell me what you can do? So we're going to copy that, come back to the interface here, paste it into the messaging box, and we're going to hit enter, and this is the moment of truth. Loading. Hey, I just came online. This looks like a fresh workspace. We're live. Yoo! So we're starting from scratch together. All right, what can I do? Can do a whole bunch of things. Read, write, run shell commands, search the web, manage your schedule, spawn sub-agents, work with GitHub, connect to messaging platforms, analyze images, search and maintain memory. Wow, can do a whole lot of things. That's amazing. So the assistant has responded with information about itself and all of its available tools. Yep, this looks pretty similar to what we have just been served from OpenClaw. Its first message. So what's happening behind the scenes here? When we type a message in the control UI, it actually goes to the local gateway, which is running on this port on our machine. That gateway then sends the message to the Anthropic API, so the AI in the background that we connected earlier receives the response and displays it back to us. So our messages pass through our own machine first, giving us control over what gets sent. Pretty cool. Very, very cool. So our assistant responded. Great. It's working. So, and if you have seen an error, yeah, you'll have to go back through to your terminal and run these terminal commands just to hopefully get your account re-authenticated and run a gateway restart so we can refresh it and see that everything is running smoothly. Yeah, so hopefully you're not in this stage of having to debug and setting up the token in the gateways, but if you are still stuck, jump into the community, or you can use this handy little ask feature here, which is our little internal AI messaging app in the Nextwork app, and you can help debug there directly. I'm just going to use Command left and close that tab. Great, so in our case, the assistant has responded. So we're going to ask our assistant now to list its available tools. So we'll copy this command here. What tools do you have available right now? We'll jump back into our OpenClaw control UI and see what tools it has available. Having a think. Great. Here's what I have in my toolbox right now. So the core tools, it can read, write, edit, execute, process, web search. web fetch, image. Wow, it has a whole lot of things that it can do. Yeah, it looks pretty advanced, which is quite, yeah, you can sort of see why it's so popular and why lots of people are using it, because of the really capable tools it has and how you can do a whole bunch of personalization and configuration yourself. So memory and sessions, automation, coding agents, like has a whole bunch of stuff, which is pretty amazing. So the assistant has responded with a list of available tools and capabilities. So this shows you the agent skills the assistant has access to, and these are all actions it can perform on so it can do a whole bunch of things, which is pretty awesome. What we're going to do now, we're going to check the usage. So every message we send uses tokens from our Claude subscription. This is the same across the board for any AI provider. So we're going to check the current usage and run this following command in the chat. Jump back to the terminal here, paste status command, and cool. All right, look, and it's given us a little skate. What is this? Yep. Status command showing model and token usage. So this is showing our current session info, including the model being used and the token usage. Yeah, I'm not sure what the other status fields show right now. Maybe we can do a quick search to see what that actually means, just to give us a flavor into all the other different of the response on the status command. So the model info, that's the model that's being used. So we're using Claude Anthropic, and some of you might be using Gemini or ChatGPT. The session details refers to the unique session ID, start time and duration, the user associated with the session, which is us, and the usage stats, so the number of API calls made, the tokens that have been used, our resource consumption, so how much our machine's using it, and sometimes it might even include estimated costs. Okay, that's really handy to know, so you can really see like how much you're spending and usage is going on as you're inside of the OpenClaw gateway. Yeah, great to have that sort of data. To know like what's gonna cost heaps, what's not, and there's also like how much memory you've used in your conversation. So tokens are the units that AI models use to measure text. Roughly 1 token equals about 4 characters. So the more you chat, the more tokens you use from your subscription. So the status commands helps you keep track of your usage and let you know how much you're spending, which is very handy. Cool. All right, let's upload a screenshot of the first convo that we've had in the control UI. So there, maybe we'll screenshot this first message that we had with OpenClaw just to prove it. And then I'm going to jump back here and drag this into here. And what did you ask your assistant and how did it respond? I asked it, what did we ask it? We asked it to introduce itself, show me what tools you have available, and show me the status of our current session. And it responded with a very lengthy list of tools that it has available. It introduced itself and let us know that it's alive. OpenClaw session. Great. And let's view that to see if it's been added into our documentation. Look at that. Beautiful. Nice. We'll close that up. And the assistant is working. The claw is alive. But right now, all we can do is talk from the browser window. So what we're going to do next is my favorite part, and we're going to connect it to Telegram so you can message it directly from your phone. Super cool. All right. Step 3, so connect to Telegram. We've chatted with the assistant through the browser, which is great for testing that it's all up and running and working, but the real power of OpenClaw is being able to message your assistant from anywhere at any time. To do that, we're going to connect it to Telegram, which is my personal favorite messaging app. So Telegram is very popular, known for its speed and security, and it's often highlighted for its end-to-end encryption and cloud-based message storage. So it's a very secure and the easiest messaging app to set up with, hence why we are picking it for this project. You can set it up with WhatsApp or Messenger. I haven't personally done that because I use Telegram daily, but up to you if you do decide to take that route. But wait, how does a messaging app even connect to software running on your machine? So in this step, get ready to create a Telegram bot using bot father. We're going to add a bot token to the OpenClaw configuration, and then we're going to test your assistant responds through Telegram. This is going to be fun. Great. So in this step, we're going to create a Telegram bot using BotFather. We're going to add the bot token to the OpenClaw config, and then we're going to test that the assistant responds through Telegram. And Telegram bots work by, I'm assuming, the bots that run on the Telegram platform, and we connect them with some sort of token or key similar to Anthropic token that we set up at the beginning. Great, I'm going to add that to work. Task complete. Yeah, so we're going to need a Telegram account. If you don't have it yet, you can either download it directly from the Telegram URL here, or you can go to any app store. So open up the app, verify your phone number, and you're ready to go. And once you're logged in, we can continue with the steps below. So I highly recommend setting this up on your mobile and not the desktop, so you get the true sort of experience of why OpenClaw is so great, of being able to use your assistant on the go and not being at your machine or desk, which is lots of fun. It's almost like a remote control. So great. So we're going to create a Telegram bot. So Telegram bots are special accounts that are controlled by software rather than a person. And we'll create one using Telegram's built-in bot creation tool called BotFather. So we're going to open Telegram on our phone or desktop, but I strongly recommend on your phone. We're going to search for BotFather, and we're going to open a chat with it, and then we're going to send it the following message. So I'm just going to connected my phone to my computer so you can see my screen. So 2 seconds. I'm just going to bring this over here. Here we go. So here's my mobile, here's my screen on the recording, and I've already got Telegram and BotFather set up on my phone. But what we're going to do is we're going to search for the new bot command. There it is at the top of the list. So I'm just going to select that, and alright, a new bot. How are we going to call it? Please choose a name for your bot. So BotFather's asked us for a name. Enter a display name like my network claw. Okay, so maybe we'll do my network claw. Next, it's going to ask us for a username. This must end in bot. Please enter your chosen username. So maybe we can add, we'll say let's call it my network claw underscore bot. So let's go all lowercase, my network claw underscore bot. That seems to match with that. Hit enter. Yes, I have already set this. Maybe we'll go my network claw. Let's change this to John network claw bot. So John, sorry, I had this set up in another test version of this project. So John network claw underscore. Great, amazing. So yeah, some screenshots will differ depending on if you're on desktop or on mobile. As you can see, I'm directly in the chat, but it should respond with a bot token, which should look something like this. So we can see that here in the chat, that it's come back with a bot token. I will obviously be deleting this bot token after the recording, so happy to share it with you now, but please never share that token with anyone else, because they will have access to your bot and spend your money. So we want to get that key and copy it, and then we'll need it in the next sub-step. So as mentioned, keep the bot token secret. It's like a password. Anyone who has can control your bot, use your AI and use your tokens. So never share it publicly or commit it to a GitHub repo or anything like that. Share it on messaging apps or whatever. So we're going to now configure OpenClaw for Telegram. So now you need to tell OpenClaw about your Telegram bot. Instead of manually editing the config files, we're going to let our assistant do it. So in the control UI, we're going to send the following message to our assistant and replace bot token with the actual bot token from BotFather. So first we're going to copy this here and go back into the chat. We're going to paste this here, and we're going to replace this bot token with what has been given to us here. So I am just going to see if I can copy that whole message. Great. And then I'm just going to remove this other text and to remove all of that, and we're going to cut this, paste it in directly here. Awesome. And I assume after that we are going to run this. Yes, okay, we're going to run this and see what happens. So press enter, and I'll just move that out of the way for a second, and we'll see. I'll add that Telegram bot token to your OpenClaw configuration. Let's first check where your current config structure. So it's now looking for the files locally on our machine, which is great. Cool, just doing a bunch of work. Let's just jump back to instructions. And then after that, we can verify if we want to. Open the OpenClaw config file so I can see the Telegram settings, just out of curiosity. Okay, it looks like it's going through and trying to figure it out. Looking at the documentation from Telegram. Yeah, okay, a whole bunch of changes and searching here by the looks of it. Looks like it's using tools, either reading documentation and then it's executing on that. So maybe it's adding and then maybe it's editing file. Okay. Hopefully this is working. Still trying. Looks like there's a plugin issue. I see Telegram plugin is disabled. I need to enable it first. Perfect. Now let me add the Telegram channel. Okay, looks like it's getting there. Excellent. The Telegram channel has been added. Restart the gateway. Wow. Okay. A whole lot of stuff just happened there, but it looks like it's restarted it, and then maybe we can do this and see if we can ask the assistant this just to confirm. Open my OpenClaw config file so I can see the Telegram setting. Let's see what happens here. Perfect. Here's your Telegram configuration. The bot token has been added and the plugin is enabled. Okay, so it's the token's configured, enabled, true, channel is active. Pairing requires pairing for DM. Allow list. Streaming. Okay, right, so it seems to be working. It looks like the gateway just before, but if it hasn't for you, run this gateway restart back in your terminal here. Maybe we'll just run it and just see what happens. I'm assuming this will open up another browser potentially if it's already open. Okay, so it just ran it again there. Great. So test our Telegram bot. Okay, so it looks like we're going to go back to our phone, and we're going to, so I'll bring my phone screen back into the play, and we're going to run search for my bot name. So I'm going to go to search and find on _bot. There it is. My network claw. So we found my bot, and we're just going to run the following command, start, or press start in this case. So, that's ran the / command for us. Great. So, all right, awesome. Okay, we're now looks like we're getting something very similar to here. So the access isn't configured. We've got a user ID and a pairing code. This is the bot's way of verifying who you are before letting you chat. So it makes sense. Keep it nice and secure. So the pairing code from Telegram, what is our pairing code? So it is C39KRKD, and save the Telegram user ID. So the bot's response includes the numeric Telegram user ID, which is here, and we should copy that somewhere safe. So maybe I'll copy that message and paste it into a notepad or something, and then our pairing code. Okay, so we'll need that for later on. Right, I'm just going to open up a notepad and paste it over here. Great, that's captured. And then, so we're going to go back to the control UI now, and we're going to tell our assistant to approve the pairing. So we're going to copy this command. Looks like the pairing code variable has been saved in there for us. Very handy. And then we're going to go back to the chat here and pop that, and then let's see what happened. Right, it's thinking, looks like it's running a bunch of tools and executing on them. Perfect. The Telegram pairing has been approved. Telegram user ID is now authorized to send direct messages to your OpenClaw bot. You should be able to chat with your bot on Telegram. Try sending it a message to test the connection. Great, so go back to Telegram and send a test message. So we'll jump back into the chat here and we'll go, hello, are you working? Moment of truth. Let's hit send. Typing. Is it working? Hey, I just came online. Who am I? Who are you? I see I'm a fresh instance, no memory yet. Everything's blank. Let's figure this out together. What should I call you? And what should I be? The claw is alive. Let's go. Amazing. We're up and running. So your assistant should respond through Telegram, just as we saw from my phone here. You're now chatting with your AI assistant from your phone. The claw reaches everywhere. So if your bot responded, you're connected. Your assistant is now accessible through Telegram. Fantastic. If you didn't have a response, we can sort of work through these common issues, which the access may not be configured with the pairing code. That's where you're currently at. In our instance, the bot has responded. We're now live on Telegram with our assistant. Super cool. Great, so we'll take a screenshot now of our bot responding inside Telegram, which is really, really exciting. We're just going to take that screenshot there and we're going to pop that into here. I connected to Telegram by running. Really, really cool. We'll just check to see that added into our, amazing, added into our documentation there. Beautiful. Close that window back into focus land. And now, yeah, we've got a remote control to our assistant straight from our phone, but there's a problem. Right now, anyone who finds our bot username could start chatting with it and start using our API credits and spending our money. So let's fix that immediately. So in step 4, we're going to lock down the assistant. So at the moment, OpenClaw is live on Telegram, which is amazing. But the issue right now is any Telegram user who discovers your bot can send it messages and use your Anthropic API credits or your AI provider credits and spend your money. We do not want that. So we need to lock it down so only you can use it. So this step is about understanding the security model and making sure your assistant is safe to leave running 24/7. So in this step, we're going to find our Telegram user ID, configure and allow lists so only you can use your bot, make it nice and secure and safe, and then we're going to verify the config is correct. So in this step, going to find my Telegram user ID, configure and allow list so only I can use my bot, and then we're going to verify that the config is correct. Allow lists are important because we only want, I only want to be able to use it myself. I don't want other people using my bot and using my tokens and spending my money. Great. Amazing. So now we're going to find our Telegram user ID. And so to restrict who can talk to our bot, we'll need the Telegram user ID. So remember the Telegram user ID from the pairing session, which I'll bring my mobile screen back up here. So there's my Telegram user ID, and the assistant will respond. We can ask the bot actually. So if you didn't have it saved, we can ask the bot. So we could enter it here. And we'll see if it gives us our user ID. I think it's right there, so it's already saved, 3996111778. Great, it's already got that. Copy this number, we'll need it. So every Telegram account has a unique ID, unlike username, which you can change. User ID is permanent. OpenClaw uses this ID to verify exactly who is sending messages to your bot. So we'll configure and the allow list. So now let's update the OpenClaw config to only accept messages from your Telegram account. Once again, let your assistant handle the config changes. So we're just going to send it a message and give it the ID and add it to our allow list. So great, copy this now and we'll go back to here. Since our Telegram user ID has already been surfaced, we can just go enter. If you don't have it in, well, you should. So I'll just unlock my phone here. I'll move that out of the way for the second. And now it is going through and adding my ID to the allow list. Okay, so it's restarting the gateway. Okay, so that's just what happened. It automatically restarted the gateway, but it looks like you need to restart the gateway manually if it doesn't do it. to register that change. So go back here, maybe we'll just run that again to see Claw Gateway restart. Restarted it directly in here. You can obviously do this from the terminal. So the OAuth credentials were stored locally. Yeah, so everything's stored locally. So just the same as our OpenClaw subscription tokens, the credentials for the Telegram user ID are also stored locally. So verify the config. We're going to copy this, open my OpenClaw config file so I can see my settings, check that it's what we have hope it's done, added this ID to the allow list, meaning only us can now access the Telegram bot inside of Telegram. Okay, so what we're looking for, this is our, yep, we're running Claude, the Telegram channel is enabled, bot tokens configured, the group policy is allow lists, and allowed users is us. That looks correct. Okay, and if you do get taken into a code editor, you're going to be looking for your ID to show the ID from Telegram from your bot for the allow list. So just bring this back in here. So you're looking for this Telegram user ID to be showing here. In this case, it's just opened it up directly in the interface. It hasn't opened a code editor, but again, sometimes depending on your machine and setup, it will open either or. That's the nature of OpenClaw, because it's always being iterated on and improved. So there's little tweaks and changes from here and there. So we can run the diagnostic tool here to confirm everything's healthy. So maybe we'll go back to our terminal. We can run it in the terminal. The OpenClaw doctor, what happened here? So it ran a whole bunch of things: update, state integrity, security, skills, plugins, Telegram, okay. So that's looking good. John, Network Claw bot is okay and connected. Fantastic. So it looks like, and all the rest is memory stuff, which is not relevant to us, but the doctor's complete, and it looks like healthy configurations. Assuming it's this little snippet here that we want to confirm that Telegram is okay and it's up and running. We'll take a photo of that, take a screenshot, sorry, and we'll pop that into our config over here. And I secured my assistant by, great, awesome. And that should add to my documentation there. Amazing, so cool. All right, we'll close this window, get back into focus land. So we're locked down. We have a fully configured, secure, 24/7 AI assistant running on our machines. So good, let's get it. Cool, all right, and if you are interested, we can do a little secret mission here where we're going to set up automated checks. So the OpenClaw assistant is now set up, secured, and accessible from Telegram, but right now it only responds when you message it. What if it could reach out to you, which is like a big part of what makes OpenClaw so cool. So in this secret mission, we'll configure a cron job. What's a cron job? So I'm just going to check this little definition because this is a new term that I am not aware of. Cron job is a time-based scheduler. It allows you to automate tasks or scripts to run at fixed times, dates, or intervals. Think of it as setting a recurring alarm for your computer to perform actions automatically. Super cool. So I guess that feeds into 24/7 assistant running and doing jobs for you automatically. So we're going to set this up to run every 10 minutes, turn our assistant from a reactive chatbot into a proactive automation agent. And this is the difference between a chatbot and an autonomous agent intervention. So yeah, we can set these jobs up for us, and then we can get our assistant to do them for us autonomously. Very, very cool, and it's a big reason as to why this project is so popular at the moment. With a OpenClaw cron list, and we're going to customize the check and test it out. Let's jump into the secret mission. Great. So why cron jobs? Most AI assistants just sit there waiting for you to ask something. So ChatGPT or Claude or any of the major ones, they're just waiting for you to manually input stuff. Cron jobs flip that around, sort of the core value prop of OpenClaw and why it's so popular at the moment. Lots of people are using it to let it do stuff for you, do stuff while you're sleeping. Yeah, it's really, really fantastic. I use it personally, and it's a new paradigm in how to use AI tools, that's for sure. So we're going to ask our assistant to create the cron job. The easiest way to set up a cron job is to simply ask our assistant to do it. So OpenClaw's AI can create and manage the cron jobs through natural language. So as before, we're going to open Telegram and send our bot the following message. So we're going to do this from our mobile, and we're going to bring up OpenClaw, and we're going to say set up a cron job every 10 minutes. Send me a motivational quote and a fun fact. A motivational quote and a fact. Right, let's send it. Your assistant will confirm the cron job was created and show you the schedule. And we're sending it now. The assistant is typing. Let's see what it comes back with. Still thinking. I didn't set up a cron job. It still managed to understand it. Done. You'll get a motivational quote and a fun fact every 10 minutes. First one should arrive in about 10 minutes. Let me know if you want to adjust the frequency or turn it off later. Cool. So let's verify the cron job first. We'll run OpenClaw cron list in the terminal to see if it's been added in there. Go there and paste that into our terminal, and we can see, we open this up here. Okay, great. We can see motivational quotes running every 10 minutes. That's awesome. So you should see your automated check listed within its schedule. So customize our check. Now let's make the check more useful. The assistant to update it. Update my automated check to include a random piece of trivia. Okay, so we'll open up this and we'll say update my automated check to also include a random piece of trivia. That now, and it says wait for the next trigger or manually trigger it by asking our assistant to run automated check now. Well, let's do that because we actually haven't had anything pop up. So we'll say run my automated check now, and let's see if we get a response. What's it going to come at with us? Whoa, and there we go. Daily inspiration, the quote, the only way to do great work is love what you do, Steve Jobs. Fun fact, honey never spoils. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that's still perfectly edible. Yum. And a random piece of trivia, octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood. 2 pump blood to the gills, while the 3rd pumps it to the rest of the body. Have an amazing Tuesday. Wow, thank you, assistant. That's so cool. So cool, it actually works. I guess we can leave this going, and 10 minutes later we should get another random piece of trivia to us. Very, very cool. So yeah, the cron job is working. The assistant has reached out to us proactively. We're going to wait 10 minutes to see if another message pops up. I could switch this to every minute and it could get a bit crazy, but yeah, up to you how much you want to configure it for and have a play with it, and yeah, see the assistant working for you proactively, which is so cool, and it's why OpenClaw is so popular and powerful. But hopefully, if you've gotten this, everything is all running smoothly as possible. And then this is another thing that may catch you, is the local time zone may be not being checked. So check out which time zone it's using explicitly to confirm, so the cron job will actually run. Amazing. So what's next with cron jobs? So OpenClaw does support advanced automation patterns, including chaining cron jobs with agent skills, building multi-step workflows. So this automated check is really just the beginning. This is the entree, the taster of the full main course of OpenClaw Lobster. There is so much you can do with this. It is very cool. I personally have been using it for about 6 or 7 weeks, and it has redefined many workflows for me and opened up many possibilities. So it is worth experimenting and playing with. Cool. We'll take a photo of our first daily inspiration that has arrived. We'll pop that into documentation here. And so in this project extension, I ran a cron job that sends me daily inspiration, a quote, a fun fact, and a random piece of trivia. And it runs at 10-minute intervals for now. I can come in and change this at any point in time though, which is so cool. Great. And I'm assuming that that has now added that to my documentation here. Beautiful. Lovely. All right, before we go, so you can decide whether to keep the resources running and see it getting that daily inspiration popping up in the next 10 minutes, or you can pause them to come back to later or delete them entirely. So yeah, so basically we did the OpenClaw installation and gateway, we authenticated Claude, we set up the Telegram bot, and we set up cron jobs if you did complete that secret mission. Yeah, I strongly recommend to keep this running for now just to see the power of it and give you ideas on how you may build upon it and add upon it. I'll be creating more OpenClaw projects very, very soon, probably this week, for more advanced use cases. So if you want to keep it installed for now, then that's okay. For those of you that do want to uninstall everything, which is what I'm going to do, we're going to come and remove all of these resources now. So I'm going to copy OpenClaw gateway stop, and we're going to put that into the terminal here. So we're stopping the terminal. I'm assuming, yep, it's disabled it there. We're going to remove OpenClaw, so we're going to copy this command and remove it completely from our machines. Delete the configuration directory, so we're going to copy that and paste it into the terminal too. Yep, and nothing is showing. And then we're going to go into botfather and we're going to delete that bot. So jump back here, go into botfather, we're going to search for /delete bot, and we're going to delete our John Nextwork Clawbot. Are you sure you've selected Nextwork Clawbot? Are you sure? Send yes, I am totally sure. Done, the bot is gone. Great. So that has been installed. We now no longer have our bot. OpenClaw has been uninstalled from our machine, but if you're continuing, yeah, there will be future projects coming out very, very soon, hopefully this week, if not next. And we will continue to build upon infrastructure that we've set up. And now that we have successfully installed it, it's a lot more fun to start building things out when you have it secure and on your machine and on your mobile phone or device. So great. So the key tools and concepts I learned in this project, I learned all about the OpenClaw gateway and Telegram messaging app and pairing the two together. This project took me approximately an hour 20, which is great. The most challenging part was, and just the ever-changing nature of OpenClaw seems to have sometimes different screens showing in the wizard, sometimes not. And I did this project today to learn how to securely set up OpenClaw on my machine and join the hype train that everyone is sharing about OpenClaw. And yeah, really see the magic of the lobster myself. Another skill I would want to learn is really test out how to do more automated tasks and see what OpenClaw is really capable of. And I did notice you can chain together jobs and create automated workflows and pipelines, which is very, very interesting and something that I'd love to explore and see how it fits my unique context and use case, whether that be professionally or personally. Great. And for those who don't know, I've been using Whisperflow voice to text so I can populate the text boxes much more quickly. So we're going to add that in. Great. Should have added there perfectly. Amazing. Added into my work. And that's a wrap. Nice work. We've just set up our own personal AI assistant with OpenClaw, connected it to Telegram and secured it so only you can use it. So congrats. Amazing. All right. Let's do a little quiz. We'll see how much we learned from the project. So what is the difference between OpenClaw's personal by default mode and its requirements for shared multi-user environments? I think the difference is personal by default allows the server to be open. It's more around just letting shared environments. Okay, yeah, I think it's this one. Hey. What is the primary purpose of configuring an allow list for your OpenClaw assistant in Telegram? So this is In the context of AI models like Claude, what do tokens represent? So tokens, yeah, they are units to measure text, roughly equivalent to characters of Word. They're not a form of digital currency. Yes. Why is it important to keep your Telegram bot tokens secret and never share it publicly? So anyone who has the token can control the bot and potentially use our credits. Why is it necessary to restart the OpenClaw gateway after making changes to its config? So the gateway needs to re-download the core. Yeah, so it's to get new settings to take effect, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And what is the primary function of the OpenClaw gateway in the AI assistant architecture? So yes, amazing. Acting as the always on engine. We'll complete the quiz and we've mastered it. 6 out of 6. Beautiful. What a project that was. Great. All right. I think we are done. I think we might be, should we mission accomplish and see if we're done with this project? Hey, nice. Very nice. Cool. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to share this, all the amazing work we've done, and share it with our peers, and yeah, let them know that we're now on to OpenClaw. Okay, so share our work. I'm probably going to want to share this on LinkedIn, but let's just have a look to see what our documentation looks like. Beautiful. Okay, it's captured everything, like our screenshot of our, we don't want to replace that, no, that I can share as a part of my portfolio. This is amazing. So cool. I can't wait to share this with everyone on LinkedIn to let them know that I've cracked the code and have OpenClaw working for me around the clock as an assistant. First off, it's doing some daily inspiration for me. Wow, this is so cool. Theme, looks like I can customize. Wow, I can create different types of themes. Let's just stick with, and let's go to share on LinkedIn. I might just, I'll just log into LinkedIn here. Give me 2 seconds. Great. All right. It runs locally on machine, connected to Telegram. I can message it from anywhere. The setup took about an hour. Now I have, here we go. I just set up my own personal AI system with OpenClaw. What I configured, future of personal AI is local first, and always check out my work at Nextwork. Here's a link to my portfolio. Here's the tags. I'm going to post this on LinkedIn and let the world know that I have built something super cool with OpenClaw. Amazing. That's so cool. All right, we're live on LinkedIn. We've shared our work. Super cool project. This one's been amazing. And yeah, thank you all for joining me for this journey of setting up OpenClaw. This is the first of many. There will be some more advanced coming at you very soon, and we will begin to build upon OpenClaw and in the next couple of projects that are coming up very soon. Thank you so much for joining into this hour and a half stream. It's been super fun. May the claw be with you.